like in prayer room, a good word. And so let's get right into the word. My message today is the God of the Hebrews. The God of the Hebrews. This is very important. Not the cheap one, because I bought another cheap one since I've been here. They don't last. I want to bring your attention to Genesis chapter 14. Genesis chapter 14. This is very important. Okay. The God of the Hebrews. In Genesis chapter 14, we have the incident with Abraham and Lot. He rescued them. But I want to bring something else to you that the writer of the Hebrews or the Bible or the Word of Yah want us to understand. One thing just in my study and observation that we have made the Word of Yah like a gumbo. You like, what do you mean by that, gumbo? We threw everybody in there. And we think this book is about everybody, but it's about the God and his people, or Jehovah and his people that we know today as the Hebrews or the Israelites. Very important, because if you don't understand what the scripture is teaching us, then you will be confused at end time prophecy. Because you have to understand that the book of Revelation tells us that the spirit of Yeshua is the spirit of prophecy. If you don't understand prophecy, then you will be deceived in the last days. We're told that even in the book of Psalm 78, verses 1 through 3, in Ecclesiastes 3:15, there's nothing new under the sun. So you have to keep that in mind. And so we are told in the book of Isaiah 46, 9 through 10, that he has already declared to us the end from the beginning. But we have taught this book from a religion perspective. This is not a American book, a Greek book, or even an Egyptian book. You have to understand that this book was written by the God of Israel, by his spirit, by the prophets, to give his people understanding who they are and what's going to happen in the last days. You see, nobody in the world, I don't care how many religions they have, their book is not inspired. Their book is not inspired. Okay? It's man-made doctrine. And they have took out some of the scriptures from the Torah and to blend it in with theirs, and that's why it seemed like it kind of like, well, yeah, it's kind of like it. No. Their scripture is not inspired. You must keep that in mind. Right. Okay. There is not the same. All religion is not the same. Matter of fact, this is not a religion book. This is a book about a people, okay, and their God and their nation that dealt with his people. That's very important. So that's why I want to come at this way to the God of the Hebrews. So in Genesis chapter 14, Mike, who's going to be my reader? Okay. Now, we know the story. How that Abraham here, he comes to rescue Lot. And verse 14 says what? Chapter 14, we'll read verse 14.
Genesis chapter 14, verse 14. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Habath, which is on the left hand of Damascus.
What verse did you start in?
14, I'm in the 13. And there was one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew.
Now the text wants to know, this is very important, okay? This is very important because you have to know who's who in the biblical text, not what society has told us. It's going to make sense as we travel through this text, okay? Now, the Hebrew, let's go to Genesis chapter 10 and see where we get that title from. In Genesis chapter 10, we know that the generation of Shem, this here text gives us a history lesson, okay? To know that everybody should be able to trace themselves back to these three sons. Very important. It is amazing how the Ruach go to the point that to the Hebrews, okay, this book was not given to anybody else but the Hebrews, so that you should know who's who. Everybody else can be confused about who they are, but you shouldn't be confused.
All right. Amen.
I shared with you last week that in the book of Galatians 3:29 said that if you be in the Mushiach, you're who seed? Abraham's seed. He's not just making it up. So now we see in Genesis chapter 10, verse 21 says what?
Verse 21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber.
Oh, Eber. This is where we get this word from. Hebrew, Eber. Okay, even though we see in Genesis chapter 14, verse 13, the first time the word is used, but the root word is Eber. Go ahead.
The brother of Japhet, the elder, even to him were children born.
Now let's jump down to verse 25.
Verse 25. Unto Eber were born two sons.
Uh-huh.
The name of one son was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan.
Okay, now watch this here because the text wants to know something. So Peleg meaning that if something happened before the flood, because you have to pay attention. There are times that the text will say something that happened but has not happened yet. So Yah is telling you from his perspective. So it's telling us here that when Eber born two sons, the first was Peleg, the earth was divided. Think about that. There was a separation. Though we're going to see in Genesis chapter 11, that's going to be a separation of the people by language, not color, but by language. So we see a divided here. There's something that took place, and then he called his other son was what?
Joktan.
Which means small. So the text wants us to know. So what I want you to see so far, that it says, verse 21 again, read it for me.
Verse 21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japhet, the elder, even to him were children born.
Okay, so that's where we get the word Hebrew or Eber is the word. Those who want to check me out on that, easy. Do that. I'm going to give you a strong number here. You can check it out, 5677. So this is where we get the root word Eber, and then we find out later Hebrew or Hebrews. Very important, because this is the lineage of Shem. And as the writer begins to just to show you that these are the Shemites, the Hebrews or the Ebers. Very important, and you'll see as we travel through this here. So the strong number again is 5677. And we're going to look at, and the one is used in Genesis chapter 14, verse 13 is 5680, which we get the word Eber or the Hebrews. Now, for those who know Hebrew, you will know that the word is with a aim, a bet, and a resh. Which if you look at it, etymology, aim, which is the word I, means to see or means to reveal. And then we have a bet, resh, is the word ba, means son. So the purpose of the Hebrew people, we're going to find out, just by the etymology of the word, is to reveal the son. That's the job, is to reveal the son. And keep in mind, Genesis 3:15, the climax of the book is I'm going to put enmity between your seed and her seed. So there's a battle going on in the cosmos that you and I can't see. Think about that. And so now, once you choose a side, then the battle's on.
That's right.
Notice that you really had no problem with the devil because you was on his side. You don't whoop your own children. I mean, but now that you have crossed over, that's what we're going to find out. Now there's attacking in your financial health and everything that you can name. So now watch this here. So now let's go to Genesis chapter 40. Now keep in mind. No. Let's do chapter 39. Watch this here. So now Shem is the father of Eber, and Eber is where we get the word Hebrew, right? Now keep this in mind. Genesis chapter 36, I said, right? 39. Now, this incident is with Joseph and Potiphar's wife, right? Now, watch this here. As she began to seduce him, but Joseph got out of there. Joseph ran. And look what the text says, verse 16, chapter 39, verse 16.
39 verse 16. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, the Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me.
So notice that she distinct that he was a Hebrew. You need to understand that the people of the text know this here, and the writer is writing because the Most High later on, he's going to set a distinct between his people and everybody else. So if you are Abraham's seed, then you are tracing your genealogy back to Shem. I don't care if you are a natural born Hebrew or a stranger grafted in. You are a Hebrew according to the biblical text. You're not a Christian, you're not a Baptist. And you're going to see that once you begin to embrace the text for what it says, it's going to change your lifestyle. That's why he later on, moving forward, that the Hebrews are going to be given something that we call the Torah, a law that set them apart. You don't eat like the nation. You don't party like the nation. You don't worship like the nation. You don't celebrate like the nation. Why? Because you are set apart. You are Hebrew. Very important. Very important. Now watch this here. So now let's go to another one. Let's go to chapter 40, and we want to look at verse. Now Joseph began to prophesy or to interpret his dreams, and this is what he says here in verse 15, chapter 40, verse 15. He's telling this story.
Verse 15. For indeed, I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews.
Oh, so now the Hebrew has a land. But they are in the land of Canaan as strangers. But he said that I was stolen out of the land of the Hebrews. It's very important. I'm telling you, if you get this today, it will change your life. Because you got to know who you are as an identity. You know Christian, no Baptist. If you in the Mashiach, you can trace your genealogy back, whether you are the natural born or a stranger that joined. You cannot join the Hebrews and not be a Hebrew. Once you leave your God, embrace the Hebrew nation, now you're a Hebrew. Why? Because the etymology of the word means to cross over. That's all it means. You can't cross over and there's no change in you. You can't cross over and bring the Christmas tree with you. Huh? You can't cross over and bring your own eating habits. No, you crossing over. You're leaving yours. I'm telling you. So by indeed was stolen out of the land of the Hebrews. Is that not what he said? Let's go to another one. Let's go to chapter 43. Chapter 43. Let's look at this is when Joseph is getting ready to eat with his brothers. And this is what it says. We'll pick it up in verse chapter 43. I said right? 43, starting in verse 31.
Verse 31. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, set on bread. And they set on him, for him by himself and for them by themselves. For the Egyptians which did not eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for it is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Look how they saw us. So if you're going to be a Hebrew, if you're going to cross over from America, leave America and cross over, this is how they're going to see you. This is how they're going to see you. The Egyptians saw our forefathers to eat with a Hebrew is the day, back in the day before you and I was born, it'd be like seeing white and black eating together. Y'all do know, the kids, that was illegal. You get killed talking to a white woman, even looking at her. And that stuff ain't gone, but I'm showing you that this is in the biblical text. The Egyptian, can you imagine? Today that people say, man, those are Israelites. We ain't eating with them. This is straight up racism. And y'all do know that both of these groups of people are black. So it ain't no color thing. We worship Ra. Y'all worship this God. We don't eat with y'all. Now, how you think that Joseph really felt when he had to practice what the Egyptian did? And he knew that there was a brothers. He had to do this to his own brothers. You think that that was easy? But the Egyptian was watching him, around him. He had to practice what they practiced. Why? Because he had to. His identity was hidden.
Yeah.
See, there's gonna be times that things that you're gonna do things that you don't like doing. See, what about the holidays that's coming up now? There's nothing wrong with a Hebrew Israelite saying, I can't sit at that table. Why? Because that's abomination to us. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The Egyptians, at least they had courage. Hey, man, we ain't eating with y'all. So it's nothing wrong for a Hebrew Israelite to say, listen, we don't eat that. We don't sit at the table with that. Now, you still my brother and sister, but on that day, don't call me.
Amen.
See, the job of the Hebrew is to reveal the Son. It's to let the nation know this who we are.
Amen.
According to the biblical text, we didn't make this stuff up, but I can't call myself a Hebrew by name, but I ain't crossed over nothing. I ain't left nothing. See, it's more than just saying I'm a Hebrew, I'm an Israelite. What that mean? It's like my wife say, yeah, you talk like a Hebrew, but you dress like an Egyptian. Did I get it right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's questionable.
So we see here that they have set a distinct between the Hebrew and the Egyptian. Very important. I'm glad. Now, I'm telling you, the text trying to set us up because why? It ain't going to change throughout the biblical narrative. So we know that the Shemites come from Eber, which is the word we get the Hebrews. Very important. You have to get that. So if you Abraham's seed, you know who you are.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
You don't have to take on the title of Baptist or Protestant, all that stuff. According to your biblical history book right here, you are Hebrew.
Amen.
Later on, we will become Israelites. But right now, you cannot truly say that you're a Hebrew if you ain't crossed over from America. You cannot. You see, we can gather here all we want to, but yet we still have those that are traveling with us, but they ain't crossed over yet.
Yeah.
Or they crossing back over. They crossing back over. We cannot do that. Let's go to Joshua for a moment. I'm going to show you something here. In Joshua chapter 24, we'll pick it up in verse 1. See, everybody know who they are. But it's amazing that the people that got the book don't know who they are. And that's what happened when you let man start naming you.
All right.
That's true. Joshua 24, verse 1.
Hold up.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel unto Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers. And they presented themselves before Elohim. And Joshua said unto all the people, Thus says Jehovah, our Elohim of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah, the father of Abraham, the father of Nachor, and they served other Elohim.
They did what?
They served other Elohim. But I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him Isaac.
Now, what the translator don't want you to see that the word other side is the word Hebrew. He crossed over. Abraham, I took your father. Terah and them died over there. They didn't want to cross over. And what happened to him? He died. So, but he's saying, Joshua said, listen, let me give y'all a history lesson. This history lesson here is Terah. If you Terah's son, then you stayed over. But Abraham, I took him. He crossed over. So we are the seed of Abraham. We are the cross over. We are to come out of America. Revelation 18:4 say, come out of her. What? My people. This is very important that the text is trying to teach us here. Now, watch this here. As we knew, so far in Genesis, we know who the Hebrews are. Am I right? You had to come from Shem. Not Ham, not Japheth. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. So we say that Abraham is our father. Am I right?
Yes.
Very important. So now, let's go to the book of Exodus. Now, we already know that the book of Exodus, at the end of Genesis, we already know that there was a famine in the land of Canaan, and our fathers went down into Mizraim. Am I right? So we know we have a document how we got down there. So now the text wants us to know here in Exodus chapter 1. So now remember, we in the land of Ham. The land of Ham. And we already know that they don't like us, right?
Yeah.
So now if they didn't eat with us in the days of Joseph, are they eating with us now?
No.
I don't know about y'all, but the more I started to study, I say, oh, that's why they don't like us.
For real.
How many used to ask that question, why the Africans used to mean mug us? If you can pass down cancer through a DNA, through your whatever, you can pass down hatred in your DNA. That stuff passed down. That's I'm telling you, that stuff can be passed down. So now we're in the land of those who see us as abomination, but they ain't gonna do nothing with us right now because Joseph is alive. See, it was Joseph holding them back. But Joseph letting us know, listen, they don't have no dealing with y'all. The only reason that they ain't touching y'all because I'm alive. That's the only reason. But the text wants us to know that if we pick it up, Mike, in chapter 1, verse 5 for me, then we'll jump over.
Verse 5. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
Now those in the power, those in the leader. So all the tribes, you know what I'm saying? The firstborn, dead. Joseph, who was pushing for us, stood because he had power. He was second in command of Pharaoh. Am I right? So ain't nobody gonna touch us. But now we got an issue here. We got an issue. Y'all know the story. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them.
See, they not worried about us Hebrews until we fill Texas City, until we fill Gallatin County.
Praise God.
And they start complaining because there ain't nobody buying no pork no more. They start complaining because ain't nobody buying Christmas trees no more. Can you imagine? They ain't messing with us now until people say, man, we don't eat pork no more. What you mean? Instead of, I'm telling you, we ain't scaring nobody right now until we start filling this place up. Galveston County. Now all of a sudden Moody Garden mad because they can't do their Christmas lights.
Right.
Come on now.
I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. As we begin to multiply, the adversary don't want this to happen. That's why he tried to create what I call a race war, which the Messiah speaks about a race war happening. But notice that when they begin to fill the land, go ahead.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more mighty than we.
Intimidation. See, I told you, we ain't scaring nobody. I'm telling you, once they see this place here, we start adding on. That's the plan. If y'all want to move us somewhere, that's fine. But we begin to add on to the building. Build our own restaurant, turn this into, I can't say the name. I can't say the name. Listen, I got a vision. Add on to the building. turn this into our own restaurant where we can provide for the community. You get a job. You get a job. You get a job.
Amen.
Are y'all supposed to get that? Let's start training our own kids how to be.
That's right.
Yes, sir. We have some franchise around here, Marcel. You hear me?
That's
right.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I ain't fantasizing. And listen, it's happening.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Yes,
Yes, it
hallelujah.
is.
Hallelujah.
That's why the enemy's attacking your finance right now. Because he knows what make the world go around.
That's right.
What Solomon say? Money answer what?
All things.
All things.
Glory.
And he said it too. Now notice what the king is saying. Verse 9. And he said it to who? His people. See, we don't want to try to throw everybody together. To his people. Who is his people? The Egyptian. Behold, the people of the children of Israel are what? More mighty than we. Y'all better be ready when this thing started to spread. The people that used to be your friend gonna turn against you all of a sudden. Intimidation. Go ahead, verse 10.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, that they join also unto our enemies.
Now, I want you to think about this here. They ain't worrying about us, but after a while, listen to me. After a while, these Baptists and Protestants and Catholics that don't even speak to each other, don't even like each other, but they're gonna start joining together. Yes, they are. They don't even like each other. But to get together to bring this place down in other places, oh yeah, they will get together. So, House of Study, Hebrew Israelites, keep your hands clean. Keep your hands clean.
Yes, sir.
So that they will have no stone to throw, nothing.
Amen.
Nothing.
That's good. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Well, I was walking to this beast store. I ain't giving no advertising. They ain't paying us for nothing. But you know the one that everybody go to shopping. And the lady looks and said, I know you. I'm like, she say, you was at the church over there preaching. I'm like, man, you see, you just don't know. I didn't recognize her, but she recognized me. So I'm just saying, in the grocery store, wherever you go, don't think people don't know.
Right.
Right.
Tell it.
Right.
Yeah, they do. You say it like this. They can cyber stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure they got some bugs in here.
Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
This is what y'all trying to tell you. Stop crying about your affliction.
Yeah.
He said, listen, y'all the only, listen, the Hebrews are the only people, the more they afflict. I told y'all, we were like, who kids? Baby kids. We don't die. We multiply. I'm telling you, it's in us. The more they afflict us, the more we multiply. So they're strategizing to take us out. Who? The Hebrews. The Egyptians is down with it. Go ahead.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field.
Now, this is what's going to happen. See, you have to make it real. Once people find out who you really are and you serious, they'll make your job where you work at hell.
That's right.
They're going to make it, I'm telling you, I know these snakes. They're going to make it required to come to the Christmas party.
Amen on that.
Y'all think I'm making this up?
No.
They're going to make it required. And I would be surprised if they bring in nothing but a ham there and said, everybody got to take a taste. I'm telling you, they're going to make you, well, just what they did. I dare you not come to our celebration. And if that don't work, then they say, the boss man said that everybody that come, you'll get a bonus.
You ain't going for money.
I'm telling you, the enemy is very crafty.
Yes, he is.
Any way to get you, any way to trap you. So you need to be wise. You got to be wise. Learn from our father Abraham. Everything that people trying to give to you, remember they said, no. Even David said, no, I'm not taking that off. No, I'm going to pay you.
Yeah.
Think about that. We have to become wise. We have a book that exposes all of that. Why this person all of a sudden so nice to you? Y'all been working together, you've been sharing for 10 years. All of a sudden she just feels that she want to take you out of the lunch.
Verse 15.
And she brought up the conversation about the boss.
And all their service wherein they were made to serve was with rigor.
I know I ain't lying.
Mm-hmm.
And the king of Egypt spake unto the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Sipra, and the name of the other Pua. And he said,
I want you to get that. So now you can't do it on the outside. So now we're gonna listen. He always what that movie, the 12 years of slave, and we always got one. We always got one in the camp. There's always one in the camp because you gotta keep. Esau got to stay close to us. The enemy had to stay close to find out what's going on. So now he's trying to get close to the Hebrew. Look how the enemy works. Go ahead.
When ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Why is that, gentlemen? Why kill the male? Listen, ain't nothing changed. The seed.
You carry the seed.
The seed, very important.
Planned Parenthood, stay away.
Go ahead.
But the midwives feared Elohim.
That's what's going to stop you from doing what the enemy wants you to do. Yahweh, if you look at the word in Hebrew, is a yod and a resh, which is the hand of a man, which means the power of the hand that you fear the most will turn your head. That's all it means. So, but they fear not an earthly king, they fear the king of all kings. Go ahead.
And did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives.
Hold on for a second. We got some strong women.
Come on.
Even in this house right here.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, we do.
I remember when me and Miss Bernice was going in and she said, whatever, but I ain't going nowhere. That's just what it is in our community. We don't need no women that, that listen, if we wrong or we out of line, they gonna stand up.
Right.
And they supposed to. If we out of line, the Hebrew ladies, they stand up. And listen, if these females can stand up against Pharaoh, man, who am I? So I don't want none of the Hebrew women to hear. Listen, ladies, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If we out of line,
Hallelujah.
So God, don't come running to me from what they said. I released it in the air. Go ahead.
And the Melech of Egypt.
Get over it, Mike. Get over it.
And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively. They are and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty.
And notice how they able to tell the truth. But then you think like they just lied. No. They said, yeah, they do produce facts. We have to learn to think, to ask for the rock to give us the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? We need wisdom. We saw this same thing with Abraham and Sarah. Tell them, Sarah, that you my sister. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he told you. You have to learn in the right decisions.
Yes.
Dealing with, as the scriptures teach you that with the wicked, the crafty, you have to be crafty. I done had that stuff at work, then the guy did something, then he lied. You know what I'm saying? Lying like, nah, you did say that. But because everybody heard him, he lied. That's another story. Let me do that. So, but anyhow, but the Hebrew wives, right? So now what I want you to see that the Hebrews, they still calling themselves Hebrew because they trace themselves back to who? Shem, Hebrew, okay? Keep that in mind as we move forward. So now we saw that the Egyptians had no dealing with us, didn't fool with us. Now watch this here. As we travel through here, go to chapter 2. Let's pick it up as Moses, as he runs away because of the story of the Egyptian that he killed. Go ahead.
Which verse?
Verse 11.
Okay, I was there. And it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And when he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us?
Now, it's amazing, though, because when you look at the text here, and if you understand what's going on here, we see that there is oppression in another land, right? And people have to understand that when you look at like, man, why do black men kill themselves or kill one another? Well, that's what oppression would do to you.
Yeah.
Right here in Egypt. Now, Moses saw one oppressing his brother. And then because the people are being oppressed, just think about it. Finance. No jobs. You're being treated bad. And then what it does, because I'm angry, because I'm frustrated, then it caused me to have an evil eye towards my brother. And that's what oppression does to you. That's what slavery do to you. It's torment. It messes up your mind. That you turn an evil eye. And people say, well, just get over it. Really? Okay, if you bring up people out of abundance like this here, there's no Dr. Phil. There's no going through counseling. You see what I'm talking about? When people, you know what I'm saying, comes out of people that don't understand people being abused for so long, you need counseling.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
If a woman been abused as a young child, you're like, why do you keep choosing these guys like this here? Because she's been messed up here. And if she'll never get any help, she'll always choose them. And guess what? Her daughter will, her granddaughter, blah, 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 blah. Never got help.
Yeah.
So when you look at slavery here, that we see that you have to understand that when they finally got free, but they really wasn't free. Because why? Their minds. Why? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to tell you how our forefather was psychologically damaged. Because every time hard time came, like, why she want to go back to the abusive man who you just, girl, I ain't picking you up no more. Why would they want to go back to an abusive relationship? Being abused in Egypt, but yet soon hard time came, what they want to do?
Go back.
You know something has to be wrong. I'm trying to get us to understand. So when people say in this country that we ought to get over it, to show you that we wasn't even there, right? But you can pass it down. It's passed down. They know that. They know that. So the next time somebody say something like this, okay, how many counselors did our ancestors go to? Huh? Did anybody give any kind of medicine? You see what I'm talking about? So guess what? We still ain't healed to this very day. Why? We never went through no counselor. And telling the woman, you ought to get over it. Even if that man is dead, they used to beat her. Is she free?
No.
See? We understand that. It's amazing that I can take because we love animals, right? I can take a pretty little puppy and hang that puppy by the neck right here in the front of everybody. And hang him until he die. I bet you ain't nobody here gonna ever forget that. What people fail to understand when it comes to what happened in this country, then if you really face it and really look at it, you will see that not only that we was damaged, but the European kids was damaged too. If you look at pictures that they have and you see, they just come in from church and they have a lynch. And guess who else standing in that picture? Kids. You don't think that they was damaged too? So we all sick. We all, and nobody ever healed. And every time we bring it on, y'all just get it. Listen, this nation needs healing.
Yes.
This nation needs healing.
Yes.
Not a band-aid.
Good.
So we see here. And so if you think about that, then we ought not to look at our forefathers who struggled so much in the wilderness.
That's good.
You'll understand why, even to this very day, that just as we don't trust our leaders today, they didn't trust Moses.
That's good. That's good.
I'm telling you, if we let this book speak to us. One time when they needed water, if you read the text correct, they didn't ask Moses, they grabbed them by the collar. See? Huh? Some serious stuff. But the translator try to play it down on you. You see how the damage? Nothing changed. Nothing changed. So we see here, right? Now, watch this here. Let's go to let's do chapter 3. Exodus chapter 3. And we know that the Most High Moses has an encounter with the Most High. He sent him, and he tells him, and let's pick it up in verse 16 if you good. Closed up. Good.
Go and gather the elders of Israel together.
Now, who's speaking? The Most High, right?
Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go and gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, Jehovah, your Elohim of your fathers, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the land of affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken to thy voice, and they shall come, and thou and the elders of Israel unto the king of Egypt, and ye shall say unto him,
Go ahead.
Jehovah our Elohim of Israel, of the Hebrews.
Oh, you gotta read that right, man.
Jehovah our Elohim of the Hebrews hath met with us, and now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice unto Jehovah our Elohim. And I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go. No, not by a mighty hand.
Now, what kind of Simon is this here? Go tell him, Moses. But he ain't gonna let you go. Listen, as we move through our lesson, I just want to just tell y'all, there is a climax coming on the rise that you think is going to just happen overnight. This thing is building. Building. Yeshua, the Mushiach, the prophet, said there will be a race war. Now, I just want to plant the seed. I could be wrong, but I'm imagining that the race war is going to be that not when the church, because the church already know, is when the world found out that they've been lied to. Huh? See, right now the church is just like, oh, stop saying we know y'all the people. It doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I'm talking about all these people that's been sending money for all these years. For all these years. And I'm talking about when the world find out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. When the world find out. Yeshua said there's going to be a race war. What's going to cause this war? He's about a race war. So something is going to trigger that. Because it can't be what's going on now. Because they've been going on since our ancestors got here. So when he's talking about a race war, he's talking about not only blacks and white, he's talking about a race war. Me personal, I'm just thinking that it's going to be triggered when they cannot hold us back anymore. And the people, and I'm even talking about my Christian brothers, who's going to be upset that they have been wholehearted supporting these people who said they were people, but they're not the people, and all hell going to break loose.
Yep.
How you gonna hold that back? That okay? What is here? Prove my point. How many people in this house would raise a hand? How many people in this house that when you found out the truth was you mad as hell? Raise your hand. Okay, now you take 7 billion people. Now, if you wasn't afraid to go to jail, what you would have did to your pastor? See? You see what I'm talking about? Now, you take a lot of people that ain't got no self-control. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Because what you think them brothers on the corner? They're not controlled by no ruach. Yeah. Them brothers is serious. Now you take 10,000 of those that have no control of the ruach. They just brothers just mad.
All hell's gonna break loose.
I'm trying to get us ready. Prepare for this stuff here. I'm serious. This is real.
So that's why they want to see.
This is real. So he said, go tell he is the God of the Hebrews. So we have the text. So that traces back to Shem again. So we got to know who's on our side. We got to know that when all this affliction begins to start, remember that he's still on our side.
Amen.
Remember that just as he saw we were being afflicted in Mizraim, he surely sees, he's not blind. Yeah. Remember what our father Abraham said, should not the judge of all the earth do what's right? The Most High is not sleep nor slumber, right?
That's right. Hallelujah.
So if there is a God, then he has to judge this situation, and we know that he will.
Amen.
So that's why we never have to take vengeance in our own hands. We never see that. Only time that you saw us really fight is when in the days of when the Grecians tried to Hellenize us, which we'll be celebrating that in a few days, a memorial, which we call Hanukkah. It's a time for war, it's time for peace. See all that old stuff that Christians say, oh, just let time. Nah. He said, if your brother. He didn't say any of the nation. Go back and read the text. He said, if your brother. See, we put that in everybody. We put that in the Bible. No, Jesus said, turn another cheek. Yeah, to my brother Mike, or to my sister in here, but not to the nation who's trying to take us out. So we see that the Most High, we have to understand, he is the God of the Hebrews then, he's the God of the Hebrews today.
That's right.
Right.
Think about that.
Amen.
Because when we came out of Egypt, did we come by ourselves?
No.
Nations. See, nations are going to come. So now, we see this here, right? Now, this is powerful. What verse? Just read it. Okay. We got too much, so we ain't even stand now. Don't even worry. We ain't even stand. Let's go to chapter 5. Into chapter 5. We'll start at verse 1.
And afterwards, Moshe and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus says Jehovah, Elohim of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
So we see that Israel is the people. We know how we got the name, right? Everybody know that, right? Yaakov, right? 12 tribes, okay? Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said, Who is Jehovah, that I should obey his voice to let Israel go?
Now, basically what it did, in our culture, we say, well, I'm going to go give my brother. You'll say, well, who is your brother? That's all he's saying?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Those are fighting words. In our community, ain't those fighting words?
Yeah,
Go get your brother. Who is your brother? Go ahead.
I know not Jehovah, neither will I let Israel go. And they said, The Elohim of the Hebrews have met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto Jehovah Elohim, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword.
Notice, it's just a request. See why? Because though the people is Yah, but the people sold themselves to Egypt, didn't it?
Yep.
Didn't you remember? Joseph. So now they're Pharaoh property. So, but Yah saying, listen, I know they sold themselves unto as servant, but y'all taking it a little too far.
Right.
See, if you understand about slavery, okay, that was a few ways that you was taken as a slave. Was number one was what? In a wartime, okay, fighting, and then there's another, and the text says what? Bond servant, okay, and so when we see slavery as we see in the biblical text, based on what we have experienced in this country, it's nothing like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Right.
Totally different. It went to a new level. Totally different. So here is the Most High saying, tell Pharaoh, okay. Those are mine. Let my people go. But notice the first thing is like, just so that they can do what? Worship.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he was asking. But that wasn't good enough. Because why? The people belong to you. Okay, I understand they sold themselves. Yes, but okay, at least let them go where they can worship outside of Egypt. Because they sure cannot sacrifice a lamb in Egypt because they're going to kill him. So listen to this dialogue, how the Most High going through the most powerful kingdom in the world, in the ancient world. Now, watch this here. It's decreasing, but America still, nobody want to mess with us, okay? So the Most High is going to begin to say the same thing. Let my people go.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a shaking going.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shaking. That's why you hear the boule talking about Sunday this here. I mean, just pay attention to what's going on around here. This stuff is, listen, there's a shaking, there's a rumble going on. So he tells them, Pharaoh, he says, thus said, and they said, the God of the Hebrews has met with us. Let us go that we may sacrifice slaughter. That was a request, but that wasn't good enough for Pharaoh. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And the king of Egypt said unto them, Wherefore do ye, Moses and Aaron, let the people from their work? Get you unto your burdens. And Pharaoh said, Behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest from their burdens.
Now, this is how it can apply to us today. All you did you've been faithful to the boss. You've been just working and labor for years and years. And now you come into this truth and knowledge. And man, you done worked so many weekends for this man or this woman. And now you come to understand who you are. And all you ask is just for the Shabbat off. All these years that you labored on the weekend, brought work home. And you just realize that Sunday is not the Sabbath. And you want to honor the Sabbath.
Amen. Amen.
And they don't want to let you go.
Amen.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I ain't talking about people that just lukewarm, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about they know when people are real.
Right.
But notice what Pharaoh said, oh, no, I know Miss Sharon just lazy. She just want to be off on Saturday. Here, this brother here working 6 days, what, 6 days? Okay? I mean, just laboring. The Shabbat, to some of us, I mean, it's the only day. If you want to lay down and get a mat up there and go to sleep, he can do that on the Shabbat. This is game idea. I don't have no problem with that. Because the brother is laboring to take care of his family, doing all those things. I noticed that. I know he fighting in this thing, but I'm saying, man, if he just want to come, just be with us and rest in the office, go take a nap and rise up, this is the day that he'll have to do nothing, and we'll take care of you.
Amen.
Okay? We'll take care of you.
Yeah. Amen.
That's serious business.
Amen.
This is a community.
Hallelujah.
Don't be ashamed of your situation. This is the community.
Amen.
I'm saying I'm just trying to give my brothers some rest.
Amen.
You got sisters around here, sister. That's
That's
huh?
right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We love you.
Amen.
Yes.
I know you got a little pride, but just let it go on the Shabbat. You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah. Surrender.
She gets fed.
No. Let me work this here. Let me work this thing here. Amen. We here to help.
Hallelujah.
You know, some family need, you know what I'm saying? If this don't, listen, if this only, I'm just speaking from a man perspective. If this only place that he can rest in here and get rest, because why? He got help.
Amen.
He got help here.
Amen.
Same way with brother wrong, whatever. I want y'all to know that we here to labor. We here to help.
Yes. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Amen.
Y'all with me, house state?
Glory. Hallelujah.
Yes. Hallelujah.
You won't be the first one to have fallen and can't get up. We'll get you.
Last week I fell on my chair.
Yeah.
Damn.
What kind of community that we be that we so busy and we can't help one another? So I'm putting it out there.
That's right.
Sister Monique working today?
Yes, Sister
You gotta
Monique.
pray for her.
I was
right.
just about to say that. She came over my house last week and told me she's been working every day.
Yeah. For months.
You need to get out from under the thumb of Pharaoh.
Glory.
Hallelujah.
And that's why, you know, that's why it really rubs me the wrong way for those who are locked into the system and struggle to make it here and can't, than those who have no excuse.
Right. Right.
What? You have no excuse?
Yeah.
Most people here are living from paycheck to paycheck. We need each other.
Right.
I keep telling y'all, I don't know what's going to happen when we have to live like our little Spanish brothers. I like my privacy. What? Man, don't you see what's happening to this country?
That's right.
You better throw your privacy out the window. I can't walk around in my buggy no more. What? I'm just saying, we better listen. Listen. The American dream, I told y'all what it was from Isaiah chapter 65. Gad, the God of destiny, meaning the God of fortune. That's a trap for Israel because Jehovah is our God. He provides for us.
Hallelujah.
That's right.
We don't have to depend on the American dream. That's a fantasy. Drive you crazy. Looking at the haves and the have-not.
Yeah.
Have you looking at, y'all saw that commercial at the time? Then I'm gonna move on. How the woman was at the window washing the dishes, and then the lady, you know, the husband, I mean, wife at the window washing the dishes. Oh, Jennifer got a new car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you're a man, you sat there, you know what they were doing, jabbing at us. Don't let the American dream. Let it be their dream, but it ain't our dream.
Yeah. Right.
So we see here. What we stopped at verse 3?
5 and 6.
Okay, 5 and 6. Oh yeah. Keep in mind. So now we're gonna see that the Most High made himself clearly that he's the God of the Hebrews. Am I right? So now that's gonna be a battle. Because Pharaoh said, I ain't letting them go. Who is Jehovah? the most powerful man in the ancient world. So now Jehovah say, listen, I'm going to raise up Pharaoh. Because he said that. I raised up Pharaoh for my glory. So he can raise up America for his glory. Oh, America think they all that? Didn't have the audacity to use an eagle to reflect how I bore my people on eagle wings. To tell my people, I got you. Who was there out there when I taught on the number 13? The number 13 means what again?
Chaos.
Means chaos, rebellion, right? And I showed you how Nimrod is the 13 from Ham, the first man to rebel against the Most High, right? And then I showed you how that this country was built on how many colonies?
13.
You think that by accident?
Yeah. No, it's not.
This is a rebellion country. It's built on that. Check it out. The Most High is going to deal with that. Let's go to another text. Let's go to chapter 7. We'll pick it up at verse 14. Now, keep in mind that the Most High people is in the land of Mizraim. And they didn't have to get a leader to send papers to the king of Pharaoh to say, listen, let my people go. They didn't have to put somebody in the office.
Whoa.
See, we have to stop. I don't care if a man, listen, I don't care if he the same color. Ain't nobody gonna deliver us but the Most High.
That's
You're
right. That's
right.
right.
Man,
Because this whole system is corrupt. And even if that man or woman has a good heart, once they find out how the system works, they're like, oh, my hand's tied. My hand's tied. Now, I know voting time is about to come up, right?
Yeah.
When is it?
2020.
2020. Let me just shoot the voting down. If you come to me asking me who I'm voting for, I already vote for him. It's Yeshua HaMashiach,
Amen.
King of Israel.
praise God.
Listen, if you want to vote, stop voting for people because you like them and all that kind of stuff. You need to start asking these politicians, saying, "What you gonna do for my people?"
All right.
That's the question. It's not no. What you gonna do? What you gonna do for our community?
Amen.
See, it's very important. And it's rigged.
It sure is.
So in chapter 7, verse 14. Man, this is as slow as I can go.
And Jehovah said unto Moshe, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refused to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against he come. And the rod which was turned into a serpent shalt thou take in thine hand. And thou shalt say unto him, the Jehovah Elohim of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear.
Now notice, he keep telling us who we are. He keep telling you, if you, Abraham, see this who you are. He said, I'm the God of the Hebrews. Just as I heard their affliction, I hear your affliction. I heard somebody say y'all complain about the wrong thing. But he still hears. He knows what his people are. But if we want to be a part of the nation, want to join the nation, y'all say, well, go serve their God. Let them deliver you. But notice how this conflict is going, because the Most High is putting Egypt and the world on display. We're going to see in Egypt and all their gods, we're going to see who's the most powerful God. See, you think that it's between white and black? This is between the gods of the cosmos, the Elohims. That's what it is. See, you and I can't see this, but it is real. The spiritual world is more real than the natural world.
Amen.
You have to keep that in mind. And so what we're looking at here is a spiritual battle. And we have to understand that the God of the Hebrews is going to be victorious whether you believe it or not. So he tells them again, say to them that the God of the Hebrews, see how he's trying to get at what? Identity, know who you are. Very important. So when America try to put us in all categories like Baptists and Protestants and all that, what that mean? That don't mean nothing. Because why? I can't find you in here.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I can't find you in here. Come tell Nehemiah, he begins to look through your records. He said, well, I'm a Baptist. I'm like, well, I don't see you in there. I'm a Protestant. I don't see you there. It's 12 gates. And ain't none of them named after no Baptist, no Protestant, no Catholic. They name after what? Tribes. Trying to teach us, man, we've been, like Malcolm has said, we just been strong. Chapter 9, verse 1.
Verse 1. Then Jehovah said unto Moshe, go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus says Jehovah, Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go that they may serve me.
Notice this here. He keep putting this together. Let them go that they may go what?
Serve me.
Serve. See, ain't no sense of being freedom. Listen, if you say that you're Hebrew, if you say that you are free, then are you serving?
Come on.
Think about that. You say, I'm serving Yah. How can you serve Yah and you can't even see it? You serve the Most High by serving his men, his women, the people, and the community. That's how we do. You being set free from whatever you was basically doing, which is sin, is not to go and do your own thing. We're here to serve the Most High. And if he has given us assignment, then we all have to serve. I see it around here all the time. Serve. We have to serve from the young to old. It doesn't matter. So he continues to tell him that I am the God of the Hebrews. Let my people go. The scripture is distinctive that who is his people? The Hebrews. So if you are natural or if you have crossed over, you're Hebrew.
Amen.
Same chapter, sorry. Let's pick it up in verse 13. Chapter 9, verse 13.
And Jehovah said unto Moshe, rise up early in the morning and stand before before Pharaoh, and say unto him, thus says Jehovah Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go that they may serve me.
Now, we ought to have this down by now, because he only just repeat himself over and over. The purpose of the Hebrews is to serve.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
That's the purpose. Not for us to do our own thing. So listen, he's telling them this, I'm going to set them free. Let them go. Let them go. And I can show you in the book of Ezekiel that Pharaoh was a type of Hasatan, that dragon, the serpent, that's holding the Most High people go. I mean, and bondage. And then we find out later in the journey how we got set free by the blood of the Lamb.
Hallelujah.
It's all about the Most High. All that marching we doing and all that noise and I don't know. Oh, the Most High is going to set us free. No organization,
That's right.
no orchestration. Oh, I remember Malcolm. Listen, why do you think the Most High didn't let them do it? Listen, you think we worshiping Martin Luther King now? Why? Because no man is gonna get the glory.
Thank you.
It's good.
All right.
All we can do is wake up the people,
Amen.
stir up the people. That's all that we can do. So we see he is the Elohim of the Hebrew. This is very powerful here because we have to understand this here. Before you leave here, you need to know who you are. You are the God of the Hebrews. That you are a Hebrew. But if you have not crossed over, if you have not, then you're still American. If you have not crossed over, You listen, you might be in your sanctification process, you might still be dealing with Christmas and Easter and all those things. It's still in your system. Just as our forefathers did. Listen, they died in the wilderness. You ain't gotta die in the wilderness.
Amen.
True.
You don't. It's very important. So far, what we see, because this is going to make sense as we move through our Torah portion, you have already been identified. Already identified who's who in the book. This is what the scripture is trying to teach us as a history book. Do a few more, and then we're going to shift. I want to bring something out here. Let's go where we at now, chapter 10. And we saw what Joshua said, that listen, Joshua speaking to that new generation, said, listen, your father Terah died on the other side. But I took your father Abraham and brought him from the other side. Chapter 10, let's start at verse 1.
And Jehovah said unto Moshe, go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and of thy son's sons what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know that I am Jehovah. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh and said unto him, thus says Jehovah Elohim of the Hebrews, how long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me.
Connection just continued. Now he's speaking to Pharaoh. How long are you going? I mean, plague got the plague. When you gonna humble yourself? Now he's speaking to Pharaoh, king. Well, he can speak to Israel. How long is it gonna be before we humble ourselves?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. How long is it going to be before we humble ourselves as a people, as a nation? Remember that when we look at, I love what Pastor Jay had a post one time about even giving the name slavery is not really good. I was saying that slave. Nah, it was a war, wasn't it? It was a war. They're not going to show you what really took place. It was a war. But you have to understand that our defense was removed because of our transgression. You see, remember what Balaam said? I can't curse them. God has a protection around them, blessing. But I can get you to show you how to get them to curse themselves. See, it's very important. So now what you're seeing happening before us, that we're turning back. We're turning back to the ways of the Most High. So that, as Daniel said, that the curse has come upon us. They realized that. They knew what had happened. We just now figuring out and still ain't got it. Somehow we think that if I just get a better job or a better career or go back to school, blah, blah, listen, your finance ain't got nothing to do with your school. If the Most High has a curse on your finance, as a curse, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's right.
Because it wasn't money that got us in trouble. It's our transgression of our fathers. And so why should we continue to transgress that our children will be in bondage too? As the prophet Elijah said, how long will we waver between two opinions?
That's right.
Throughout the text, this history book is written to a people to show how glory they was and how they fallen from grace. Just like Mike the Church said, that if the nations are blessed because of the scattering of the people, how much more if they're brought back?
Mm-hmm.
Revelation said that the dragon had deceived the whole world. Think about that. The dragon had deceived the whole world to perpetrate a people that is not a people, but the whole world has bought into it. And use the Christian church to propagate that. And I wonder why ain't nobody mad. I wonder why we not ticked off. Think about that. It's no different than people turning a blind eye. Said, "Nah, I see that man over there beating his wife. That ain't my business." So if the Christian church in America won't rise up and tell the truth, then y'all say judgment must begin in my house. That's why I say it is a terrible thing. The scripture said to fall in the hand of an angry God. Just as he approached Pharaoh, let my people go. We're not serving the Most High if we serving pagan holidays.
That's right.
Right.
Doing what we want to do? No, we're deceiving ourselves. That's why this place here, that it makes no difference if we call ourselves a Hebrew, but then if I come to some of your houses, you got a Christmas tree. What kind of Hebrew is that? When I call Jeremiah to the stand, and I have Jeremiah to come over to your house, what do you think Jeremiah say? These are the things that we have to get out of us. There's no condemnation. But I pray that as we go through our seasons, that it shouldn't be 5 years down the road. Well, you know the Lord working on it. Come on, Israel. We are to set an example for the nations. We have to set example. I taught you that the purpose of the Hebrews is to reveal the Son. So if they want to talk about WWJD, what would Jesus do? What would Yeshua do? Believe me, he's not standing at these stores shopping to bring you a gift. He's already gave us a gift.
Right.
Eternal life.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
It was packaged real good for us. Huh? And now he's a grown man.
Yes.
And Revelation says he's coming back and there's fire in his eyes.
Amen.
Have mercy, Father.
Believe me, if any brother here had fire in his eyes, I'll holler at you later. I know that he ain't got time, nothing.
Yeah.
Now I holler. So Yeshua got fire in his eyes. He's mad. I don't know what is mad about. Let's close on this here because I can. It's a lot. Zephaniah. If you don't know, use the index. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 1.
Amen. Everybody there?
Amen.
Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice. She received not correction. She trusted not in Jehovah. She drew not near to her Elohim. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not at the bone till the morrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The just Jehovah is in the midst thereof, and he will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I have made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabited. I said, surely thou wilt fear me. Thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. However, I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doing. Therefore, wait ye upon me, says Jehovah, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then I will turn to the people a pure language, that they may call upon the name of Jehovah to serve him with one consent.
Notice how people quote this verse, but they don't quote it in context.
Huh.
There's coming a pure language. So we know that the language was Hebrew. So we're going back to Genesis. So this prophecy about returning to the people a pure language is not good. Because in this day, it's going to be affliction. But people will be able to call upon him. So when you hear people say, man, the Bible says, no, this is not good. This is wartime. This is the battle. He's going to turn to us a pure lashon, and we can call upon him. But it's going to be in a time of difficulty. Go ahead.
From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my supplicants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Jehovah.
Is any afflicted and poor people in the house?
Amen.
Huh?
Amen.
The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouths. Wow.
Hallelujah.
For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid.
Has that happened yet?
No.
So you know that can't be 1948, huh?
That's right.
Go ahead. Sing!
Sing, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all thine heart, with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Jehovah hath taken away thy judgments, and has cast out thine enemy. The King of Israel, even Jehovah, is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil any more. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thy hand be slack. Jehovah thy Elohim is in the midst of thee, is mighty. He will save, he will rejoice over thee with joy, he will rest in his love, he will joy over thee with singing.
Can you imagine? I'm talking about God singing to you. Wow. You think that the sheriff is saying, huh? But God said, I'm going to why? He's going to sing to his bride. Going to sing to his bride, rejoicing over us. Go ahead.
I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halted, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. And at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, says Jehovah.
Selah.
Hallelujah.
Powerful right there. This is one of my favorite verses, because one thing that you can bank on is prophecy.
That's right.
You can bank on prophecy. That's what you need. Not CNN, not what Oprah Winfrey said, not what nobody, what Yah said, because every man is a liar. But Yah, his word would not turn to him forward. That's why Daniel and them concede that the 70 years was up. Not because Pharaoh said or Babylon said, but Jeremiah said. So the prophecy is right before our face. It's right before our face. We have to line up. Be ready to make a place where Yah comes, that he wants to dwell among his people. We put away, as it said, lying and cheating and deceitfulness. And we come here because we are the children of the Most High. We are the Hebrews. Amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Any question before your other lesson comes?